You are welcome to TV Sapientia News at 1. I am Oluchi Ojobamidele. Anambra State government has ordered residents and property owners across the state to repaint all dilapidated buildings located in public view as part of efforts to enhance the state's environmental beauty. This was announced yesterday by the Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Felix Odumegu, who insisted on immediate compliance in key urban centers including Onitsha, Oka, Mpo, Nnewi, and Ekulobia. According to him, regulatory field inspections and enforcement are scheduled to commence on July 1, 2025. Dr. Odumegu said the initiative is in line with the Anambra State Environmental Management Protection and Administration Law 2024, which emphasizes the importance of maintaining a clean, visually appealing, and environmentally sustainable state. He disclosed that residents and corporate organizations are required to repaint buildings that have not undergone repainting in the last 10 years, or those with peeling or defaced paint work that negatively impacts the state's visual environment. The commissioner stressed that the upcoming inspections will ensure full compliance with the law. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has conferred the National Honor of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Colonel Abubakar Umar, acknowledging his role in the struggle for democracy during the June 12 movement. The president made the announcement during the commissioning of a 300-bed hospital and vocational training institute in Kaduna State. Colonel Umar, widely regarded as a soldier of democracy, had been notably omitted from the list of June 12 honorees announced on Democracy Day. President Tinubu publicly apologized for the omission and described him as a man who stood firm on the side of justice and democratic ideals when it mattered most. Umar, a former military governor of Kaduna State, is celebrated for his bold stance against the annulment of the 1993 presidential election and his unwavering support for democratic governance in Nigeria. The displaced persons from the Yawata community in Guma local government area of Benue State have protested the bad condition of living in the camp provided by the state government. The displaced people were camped at the international market in Makurdi following the coordinated attacks on the community by suspected armed herders, leaving many residents dead and houses razed. The protesters yesterday took to the streets of Makurdi and blocked all the major entrances leading to the temporary camp located at George Akume Way, Makurdi, to register their displeasure over the maltreatment given them since arrival at the camp. They accused the state government officials of diverting relief materials donated to them by public-spirited individuals and humanitarian organizations. One of the IDPs, who identified himself as Fidelis Iban from the Yawata community, lamented starvation and the bad condition of the environment. He said officials overseeing camp management were hoarding and diverting donated materials. The information officer for SEMA, Tema Age, said he was not authorized to comment on the protest. Federal government has begun the implementation of the National Policy on Health Workforce Migration. This was disclosed by the president of the Nigerian Medical Association, Professor Bala Audu, who noted that the federal government has launched a housing scheme for healthcare workers across the country as part of the implementation of the policy. Speaking on the government's recent actions to curb the health workforce crisis, Professor Audu said the greatest challenge they have in the health sector at the moment is the paucity of the health workforce as a result of the Japa syndrome, and they know the government has not laid back. It has launched two main solutions to this problem. According to him, the first of the policy on health workforce retention policy, which is to improve the health welfare of the health workforce so that it can remain at home and not leave this country. And now they are beginning to see the actual implementation of the policy. Another one is the creation of what the federal government has called Renewed Hope Medical City, where healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, and others would have their houses built for them at mortgage price, and they can pay over 20 to 30 years. He noted that though the impact of this intervention will likely take another 5 years before tangible results are seen, the critical point is that if actions are not taken today, the situation will only deteriorate further. Also, the president of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Tope Osundara, also stated that the Medical City project was in collaboration with Professor Pate and the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa. The 36 state governors of the Federation have agreed to work closely with the federal government to harmonize levies, eliminate illegal checkpoints, and enhance the free flow of goods across states as part of efforts to address food security issues across the country. This comes as the chairman of the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, stated that both the Progressive Governors Forum and the Nigerian Governors Forum agreed on the urgent need to adopt the long-standing proposal for a state-level security system to support federal initiatives. Speaking under the Nigerian Governors Forum led by Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, the governors disclosed that after a meeting with the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and other key stakeholders on Thursday, that widespread checkpoints, unlawful levies, and inadequate infrastructure were major factors driving food price inflation and disrupting the food supply chain. The presentation revealed that the proliferation of checkpoints, illegal taxation, and poor infrastructure are key contributors to price inflation and inefficiencies in the food supply. Responding, the National Security Advisor noted that a high-level interministerial committee has been established to address these concerns and has submitted its recommendations for the endorsement of the forum. The governors acknowledged the urgency of the matter and expressed commitment to collaborate with federal authorities to streamline levies, dismantle unauthorized checkpoints, and improve the movement of goods. In Plateau State, the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress in Plateau have traded words following the arrest of 15 former lawmakers, including ex-Speaker Moses Sule, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. It was gathered that the Anti-Graft Agency on June 17 this year apprehended the former legislators who are currently serving as liaison officers to Governor Caleb Mufwang in their various constituencies over allegation of money laundering and abuse of office. In a statement signed by the PDP State Publicity Secretary, Jonathan Amande, yesterday, the PDP condemned the arrest, describing the action as a political witch hunt aimed at suppressing opposition voices ahead of the 2027 election and undermining the current PDP administration in the state. The statement reaffirmed PDP's commitment to justice, fairness, and the rule of law, while encouraging citizens to remain vigilant against any attempt to manipulate state institutions. Reacting, the state APC chairman Rufus Bature denied any involvement of his party in the arrest, stating that the allegations were a figment of the PDP's imaginations. He said the EFCC was doing its routine work, adding that the APC had no hand in the matter. Nigeria's First Lady Tinubu says she will continue to pursue programs and initiatives that will promote the health and education of girls and women. Speaking during the 13th anniversary and 7th MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit in Dubai, the First Lady noted that enhancing the education of girls in the area of healthcare courses will ultimately improve the health and well-being of Nigerians. The wife of the Nigerian president, who spoke alongside the First Lady of 13 other nations, said empowering girls through education plays a crucial role in building stronger and healthier nations. She promised to expand it further through her office and the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to be able to empower more Nigerian doctors, ultimately enhancing public health care and improving the well-being of our people. The First Lady pointed out that the efforts of MEC Foundation, which has been supporting healthcare through the provision of scholarships to medical doctors and medical professionals from Africa and Asia in the last 13 years, are not only commendable but worthy of emulation. The National Space Research and Development Agency, NASA, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Beijing-based Galaxy Space to deploy direct-to-device satellite communication nationwide by the end of 2025. Under their call, Galaxy Space will integrate a constellation of low-cost, low-Earth orbit satellites already proven in Asia and South America into Nigeria's telecom grid, allowing ordinary smartphones and laptops to link straight to orbit without relying on terrestrial towers. The agreement also pledges technology transfer programs, joint R&D labs, and the co-production of a CubeSat staffed by Nigerian engineers. The agency's Director General, Dr. Matthew Adepoju, said at the signing in Abuja that when the network goes live, no village, field research station, or emergency team will ever again be outside the coverage map. In his remark, Galaxy Space Executive Sam Zio called Nigeria the natural launch pad for Africa, noting that the firm's experimental mini spider constellation recently streamed a live video between Beijing and Bangkok on a more unmodified handset. He added that the Abuja project would become a template for continental rollout. On foreign scene, South Africa declares a national disaster on Thursday following a severe weather in several parts of the country last week. While the snow, heavy rains and high winds have impacted several provinces, the area around the city Matata in the Eastern Cape was hardest hit at the death toll from flooding in the region has increased to 92, with that figure likely to rise as mop-up operations continue. Officials say that 31 children were among the dead. Authorities have appealed for residents to report missing people so rescuers could better understand how many people they are still looking for. More than 4,000 people have been left homeless as a result of the heavy rains, which damaged infrastructure, homes, and interrupted services in one of the country's poorest provinces. The Eastern Cape government said work is underway to restore water and power supplies in the area. Still on the foreign scene, the United States rejected visa applications for multiple members of Senegal's women's basketball team, which was scheduled to train in the country's prime minister said, as he cancelled the group's participation in the practice. The visa refusals comes amid the U.S. President Donald Trump's administration's immigration crackdown and tightened border controls. Recall that the United States is set to co-host the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, and Senegal is among the 36 nations that the United States is considering adding to a travel ban barring entry to its territory. Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko posted on Facebook that he had been informed about the refusal to issue visas to several members of the Senegalese women national basketball team, instructing the country's Minister of Sports to cancel what was to have been a 10-day training camp in the United States. According to Abubakar Umar, president of the Senegalese Basketball Federation, the United States only renewed visas for those who hold old visas and rejected new requests. Spokesperson for the United States State Department told journalists that it was not able to comment on individual cases, while the U.S. Embassy in Senegal did not reply to requests for comment. On sports, the West African Football Union WAFU B has confirmed the new dates for the maiden Under-20 Cup of Nations Accra 2025. The tournament, originally scheduled to take place in Pampram from June 15 to 30 this year, was postponed to ensure the best possible conditions for the tournament. Ghana, which is hosting the tournament for the first time since 2020, is expected to deliver a well-organized competition under the leadership of the Ghana Football Association. The competing countries are hosts Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Niger, Burkina Faso, Togo, and Benin Republic. Still on sports, Manchester City have been fined more than €1 million by the Premier League over delayed kickoffs in 9 matches last season. The Premier League officials announced on Thursday that Pep Guardiola's side had breached rules around kickoff and restart times between October and February. In a statement, the Premier League said City had accepted the breaches and apologized for the incident. He said the rules relating to kickoffs and restarts helps ensure the organizations of the competition is set at the highest possible professional standard and provide certainty to fans and participating clubs. This is not the first time City have been in trouble for their tardy kickoffs. The clubs were fined more than €2 million last year for 22 breaches of the kickoff and restart rules. To end the news, here are the major news headlines for today. Anambra State government has ordered residents and property owners across the state to repaint all dilapidated buildings located in public views as part of efforts to enhance the state's environmental beauty. South Africa declares a national disaster on Thursday following severe weather in several parts of the country last week. And Manchester City have been fined more than €1 million by the Premier League over delayed kickoffs in 9 matches last season. And that was the news at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojobamidele. Thank you for choosing TV Sapientia. Do have a beautiful afternoon.